Hello and welcome to episode 77 of I'm Fine, a chat between myself, Damo, and someone who was until Sunday a Dominos virgin, Mark. Good evening.
I don't think I was fully immersed in the
What?
losing my virginity.
Well, we did it together, didn't we?
It was gentle Domino's foreplay, it wasn't.
So how does it feel to finally become a man, Mark?
I'm a bit underwhelmed. It was very kind. You put on a spread, you made an effort.
Yeah, it did.
But those...
It was slightly overdone as well, which I was a bit disappointed. It's that classic thing where you
wanted everything perfect for me.
Yeah, I did, and it's normally better than that. And then just when you're making a big deal for someone, they come round and they just slightly overdo it. You're like, oh, you.
The chicken strips.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd be a fan of them.
No, it's hard to believe there was any meat in them. That was the first thing.
I'm not even sure it's chicken.
Can you remember when you were young? Did I say this last week?
No, I can't.
When you used to drink water from your toothbrush.
Yes.
You run it under the tap and then go...
yeah, I still do it.
It's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Why do you do that? But it reminded me that I used to do the same in the bath with a sponge.
Oh, God, no. Yeah. No, Mark, no.
Why not?
You used to drink your own bath water.
Mine and my sister's.
You filthy dog. Oh, yeah. Was she going before you? Was she in there together? Right.
I think after my mum.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
And how old were you?
Don't know. I was shaving.
God, no.
I don't know.
It's perfectly innocent, isn't it?
I think loads of people share a bath. I don't think everyone's going to have your, aghast face. Children share baths.
I don't ever remember sharing a bath with my brothers.
No?
No.
Well, it's like...
Definitely not shaving together in the bath.
The shaving was joking. I can remember when my dad played for Bristol Rugby, literally, I used to watch the match and he'd go off the pitch, and as he sort of left the pitch, he went, "You're going to come in?" And I'd come in and...
have a bath with everybody?
No, they'd have the communal bath.
Yeah.
But I don't think necessarily that would be seen as de rigueur nowadays, would it? Like an 8-year-old lad strolling in.
Yeah, right. Times have changed.
Yeah.
I'm totally lost now. Where am I? Oh, blimey,
you were just describing me as something.
Yeah.
Oh, Domino, ex-Domino version.
Yeah. It's the chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, sport, and how we're all holograms until someone interacts with us. We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives, and if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done. Make sure you subscribe to us via your favourite podcast app and follow us on Instagram. You can find us at I'm Finecast. Ooh, and we're on TikTok. I totally forgot because...
We're not.
What?
No, I don't mean we're not. You've just put us on TikTok.
No, I did it ages ago and then got rid of my TikTok account and totally forgot. So I just resurrected it and found us on there again. So,
but just talking, obviously. We should do some TikTok.
No, there's literally nothing. It's just the account. There's nothing. No, we haven't done anything on there.
All right.
I thought maybe we could do a live one. Or I don't know how it works. Could we do one today?
A live TikTok?
Just do one here.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I have to look to you. So coming up in this episode, warm up and stretch, got some bookmarks to do, work-life ballet. We're going to talk about why we won't own anything by 2030.
But we will be happy.
Yes. And in brain food, we're going to look at cortisol because we came up in a couple of episodes ago and thought we'd run it out. So Mark, you are looking very well again. You are fragrant too, smelling like only a man who bathes in Joe Malone would.
Not Joe Malone today.
Oh, beg your pardon.
This one doesn't come out very often.
Right.
This is like...
What is it?
Holidays and High Days. Hermes.
What? What,
Hermes.
the couriers? You mean they delivered it to you? Is that what you mean? Are you getting confused again? And you got some Amazon deodorant as well, have you?
Yeah.
Hermes. Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Is it expensive? Yeah. You don't muck about with that stuff, do you?
No.
You don't skimp on the old cologne. This is episode 77. I'm not going to do that. Ooh, look at it. We're on 77.
But
it's the number I'm putting on my motorbike.
You're putting on your motorbike?
Yeah, I'm going to put number 77 on my motorbike.
Where are you
on the
going
sides.
to put it? Okay.
I've got little race number plates on the side.
Okay. With a Sharpie?
No, I'm going to do it properly.
You can use you. You can use my set.
You're still we haven't talked about this. You're overwhelmed by my L plate on the front of my motorbike, aren't you? Every time I pull up on the bike, you just stare at it going, how have you done? You are overwhelmed, aren't you?
I went out on a walk and it was parked and it had what I thought was a perfectly placed L plate at the back, but it wasn't. It was like a sort of drifter type bike, not a chopper, but low slung.
Yeah.
And it was the number plate, very sort of American.
Yeah.
But they'd done it as well. Their number plate was like actually attached to the bike.
Right.
I'll tell you what I used to do.
Where else would you put it?
No. You
could wear it around your neck.
You could just duct tape it to the back of the seat or something.
That's what you'd do, is it?
Back in the day, used to steal tax discs. Never bought tax from a bike. You'd steal it.
What if someone else's?
Yeah, which I accept in retrospect. Well, they had the act.
It's a criminal act. Is that your?
Yeah. Well, it isn't strictly because they could go and steal. It's like a pyramid scheme.
Right.
They could steal from somewhere else, and there's no losers. It's victimless crime.
Yeah.
I'm not having any guilt about that.
Well, if everyone just stole off everyone, there'd be no crime. Is that basically what you're saying? We're going to be talking about the sharing economy very soon.
Yeah. The only problem it would be is within the tax year if the last person wasn't able to sell it.
Yeah.
But you used to put it in a liquid. I can't remember what the liquid was, some sort of oil or something, and it would take off the biro because on tax discs used to be written the date used to be written that you bought it. So that then took it out. But so it would be like a pink disc going January 81.
Yeah.
And then underneath they would write in your registration number.
Right,
so you just dissolved the biro.
Brilliant.
And then wrote in your own name.
I mean, awful.
It's entrepreneurial, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, apart from the government and the person who steal it
such an
off.
anarchist, honestly, aren't you?
Can't do
what
it
are you
now.
doing these days? Doing something kind of cyber related, aren't you? You're one of those secret hackers. Pretend you can't use a laptop. You're all over it, aren't you?
The school where we play football, I think I mentioned this to you.
Yeah.
Did I tell you they've been up for ransomware?
No.
Local comprehensive school, and it's like
what have they got that they're trying to get money out of?
Well, yeah, and how much money would they have?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got in and they're being held to.
Yeah, just the ransomware.
Always makes me think of Tupperware when they say it. I almost downplay ransomware.
What, does it sound very sinister?
Just feels like a party that you go around to someone's semi-detached.
Hey, we're having a
house in the
ransomware.
70s. Yeah.
Come round.
People trying to talk you into ransoms.
You got to pay to leave.
It's like an Ann Summers party, but with attitude, isn't it? It's like, not until you buy some ransomware. Yeah, it works the other way to Ann Summers. You get chained up when you walk in, and then when you get released when you bought something.
That's good. You really got your money's worth out of that one, haven't you?
It's a thought. I'll leave it there.
Any more?
No,
just quick one in your head, right?
Yeah.
So why 77? I hear you cry.
I was going to ask you earlier. Why 77?
Is it because I'm a fan of Formula One's Valtteri Bottas? No, it's not. Well, it's my lucky. Well, my lucky number is 7. So I thought twice is just twice as luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 1977, and also when you look into it, its meaning is linked to the revelation, as it is writing that the numeral 77 is key to revelation. Biblically, it symbolizes the basis of the word of God. It is said that the number 7 is God's numeral, just as the 6 is connected to Satan. I've got a feeling you're going to comment. And in that sense, number 77 is associated with perfection.
No, I was just going to go 668.
Why?
The sign of the devil's neighbour. Okay. But I did that one before, and I don't think I even delivered that
one
right.
Shouldn't it be 667?
No, think about it.
I can't.
Well, unless on this ghetto, you just have like consecutive numbers, do you? Most people that live in proper places, it's like odd or even. It goes up
by 2, or it depends which side of the road you're on, doesn't it?
Well, it'll still go up by 2, whichever side you're on. You're the right side of the barbed wire, aren't you?
Yeah, you're really clever. One meaning of 77, it means personal freedom. And there are 2 implications of freedom regarding 77. First, the angels could be sending you a message that you need to set yourself free. Second, it could mean that freedom is what you lack in your life. Both implications only show how important freedom is in your life. Spiritually, number 77 stands for spiritual awakening. And seeing it means that you're about to start experiencing spiritual awareness. You're getting close to connecting with the gods. And you need to do this, help align your thoughts and with the gods. What?
No, I was just thinking of a reference from the Bible that I read on 77 I was going to add to the conversation.
Were you?
Yeah.
You're just huffing.
No, I was just wanted to say it. I wasn't huffing, I was just waiting, anticipating.
Go on then.
They do say, I think it is in Revelations, maybe 16, 17, I don't know.
Have you read it?
The Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I started at
at the beginning?
Yeah.
Not like the Little Woods catalogue where you start at the back. No, because that's where the toys are.
You're starting at lingerie. No, that's where you end. No, I was just going to say Revelations chapter 16, it said, and he believed in all that bollocks about 77 shall be smut down.
I should have known you weren't going to have
It's
anything
rubbish
sensible.
what you just said. Isn't there something wasn't there? Well, first of all, the animals went in 7B7, didn't they?
Not 2B2.
No, 4B2. Wooden animals.
Yeah.
No, the animals onto Noah's Ark
Yeah.
went in 7x7.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
Not 2x2.
Also,
some of them went in 2x2.
Also, all the pictures that you see depict like same sexes going in. There's always those pictures in like kids' books and stuff. And
how can you tell
there's two
two
lions?
male,
There's two male lions going in. You know,
Yeah.
you notice things like
God, you got a problem with that?
Very good. So thanks for coming around on Sunday. We've already referenced it.
Yeah, and thank you for providing.
You're welcome. I did feel that. I did think that more often than not, my snacks were more interesting than the football.
Yeah.
Would you concur?
It was okay. It was okay.
What, the snacks?
But having seen Italy play, they're going to win it, aren't they?
You think?
Yeah.
Attacking.
Yeah.
Free football.
So
you didn't enjoy Domino's as much as you probably thought? Or
my expectations were low.
Right, and they stayed.
They were met.
Domino's logo. You mentioned
the one
Domino's.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it, and I just pretended I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I do know what it means, but I can't remember. So tell me.
I will. Domino's was founded in Ypsilanti, Michigan, in December of 1960 as Dominic's Pizza by James Monahan, Tom Monahan, and Dominic DeVarty. And the reason it had, they obviously use a little Domino's symbol and have a one, a single domino, and a two.
Mm-hmm.
To depict
how much pepperoni you get.
yeah, in a large pizza. It did depict the number of locations that they had in their chain of restaurants.
Okay.
And they were going to add a dot each one they added, but I think they clearly gave up after 3. So that was it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. Have you noticed the Z on Amazon is curved?
The Z?
Dun, 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 dun. That was funny what you did. That was quite a good story that you covered with music last time, the golf one.
It wasn't a good one.
Okay.
Well, I looked it up, and it wasn't what strictly what your story said. So I left it out. Yeah. So for once,
it wasn't factually correct. So what you're saying.
I was going to say to you at the beginning of this, Mark, that it is Thursday night. This goes out tomorrow. Can we record it without absolute?
Oh, I see. Because you've got a busy night ahead. Okay, right. Okay, sorry.
I should have said that 15 and a half minutes ago. I might just leave it all in, just so people can get an idea of what an absolute shower of shit this is without any editing.
The Matt Hancock of podcasts. Okay, discipline that. Go on.
Okay, yeah, the Z is curved. Well, it's got, because it joins A to Z, isn't it? And it's a smile. There's 2 things. So we were talking about things in logos, weren't we?
Yeah,
FedEx has got the arrow. For people who don't know, have a look at the FedEx logo, spot the arrow. That's got the kind of smile and the Amazon logo, the little yellow arrow, goes from A to Z. And it kind of just squeezes but it's like a little cheek, isn't it? The bottom of the Z.
Yes.
Like a little cheeky, dimply smile thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
2 things. I've lost my place.
6 hours out of 30.
I'm hot.
This is what
Mark.
I get. Oh, yeah.
I'm hot. It's hot.
Oh, it's muggy.
And I'm not good. I'm not good in the heat. I'm grumpy today because I didn't sleep last night.
Okay.
Oh, so hot. It's stupid. And I got to you. I was late, wasn't I, to you this morning? Can't do it.
It's not really that hot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I know you want another 20 degrees, but
yeah,
we'll come to that in a minute. Temperature. I've got something for you.
Okay.
Also, what it's done at work, we've got aircon at work. Everyone's going, it'd be great. We're in the summer, we'll get aircon. It's a nightmare because no one can decide on the temperature. It's like trying to work out what we're going to play on Spotify. Absolute nightmare. You would think that everyone would just be happy at room temperature.
Is it because people want different temperatures?
Yeah.
Is it the...
But that only becomes a problem when you've got a choice. If you just sat in an office with aircon, you just sit there and take a jumper off, put a jumper on.
Yes.
But no. Up half a degree.
It's the...
Put the fan on a little
It's the open window, closed window. This always fascinates me.
Yeah.
You're sitting in an office and someone says, it's chilly, and closes the window.
Yeah. Because we were talking about that when people come into a room and just turn the lights on. Yeah. And you're like, what? I was just enjoying sitting in the dark.
Yeah. And then tell you don't want to. Yeah. But the thing with the window is a really tricky thing. It's like, who wins? Is it the person...
Yeah. Who's coming in, or the person who's been there? Well, clearly not the person who's been in there, because it's their choice to have it open or closed, whatever.
Yeah, but if that's been overwritten, can they then override that person? It could just be...
tit for tat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it often is, isn't it? And showering, I like. Then having to put sun cream on after you've had a shower. Now, I'm all for the body butter. You've got me into that. I'm all for that. That is not sun cream.
No. It's
Do you
the
know what I mean?
opposite. I think it fries you a little bit.
What does?
Body butter.
Fries you?
Yeah. If you
What?
go out in the sun after, I don't think it
What
has...
with body butter? Like Mazola cooking oil or something? You end up... Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like actually kind of
Marinating. Yeah.
some food. Sun cream, okay, is functional and important,
Mm.
but it's just greasy and horrible, isn't it?
I
And you
wouldn't
just had a
touch
shat.
it. I'd never use sun cream.
Did you not?
No.
So what you say, brown?
It's just a marketing ploy. I accept
Oh,
there's some
here we
people who
go.
might go,
So you think
There's
it's
a
a
reason.
complete... Right, so if we were to do an experiment where I went out in the same temperature with and without, you think there'd be no difference?
no, there would be a difference with
So
you.
what you said...
Because you're a freak of nature.
yeah.
You weren't
You
designed
should
to go
mock the
outside.
afflicted, mind you. That's pretty much all I do to you. What's that?
You weren't designed to go outside.
No, that's right. It wasn't.
It's too hot. It's too
Yeah.
sunny.
It is. One of the bookmarks I had here was there's more plastic by 2050. I love your size. Never quite know whether you're interested. Just going, oh, for fuck's sake. You interested?
Yeah, well, I said it. It is interesting.
Will there be more plastic than fish in the ocean by 2050?
Mm.
Do you know where this came from?
No.
The claim was by Federal Environmental Minister Catherine McKenna on the Liberals' desire to halve the amount of garbage Canadians throw away by 2040. The claim was, if we don't act, plastics will outweigh fish in our oceans by 2050. Yeah, the estimate comes from a report that British sailor and environmentalist Ellen MacArthur introduced at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland in January 2016 to highlight the increasing... 2016? Why did this come up so recently then?
World Economic Forum were shoving it
Oh,
out.
just kind of regurgitating it like a fish choking on plastic.
Mm.
In 2016 to highlight the increasing amount of plastic in the world's waters. In a business-as-usual scenario, the ocean is expected to contain 1 tonne of plastic for every 3 tonnes of fish by 2025 and 2050, more plastics than fish by weight, the report said. The analysis is based on a 2015 plastic study by the US environmental group Ocean Conservancy, which was peer-reviewed in the journal Science, and a 2008 assessment of global fish stocks. It's got to be legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people doing studies and stuff. And it says at the bottom here, it is, however, really a rough calculation based on some educated guesses.
Yeah, and that's before 1.6 billion masks were put in every week or whatever the stupid number is. That was the other thing. You might be able to explain this to me. We've done a trade deal with Australia that basically we've been totally shafted. The Australian Prime Minister was on today going, basically, this is such a good deal.
Right.
Like,
for him.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then he said, basically, I don't give a fuck about the UK. We're absolutely...
He never said that.
He did.
Not on the news.
Because he's a stand-in Prime Minister. Yeah, on GB News he would have done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when Mike Cunn rang in. Sorry, Damo's mum.
Did
That's
he?
true.
Oh, did he?
You heard about this one, didn't you?
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
Do you want to say that again?
No. So... No, but it was true. They were done twice, weren't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, the oldest trick in the book, and I fell for it. Yeah, so what I was thinking was, we've done a trade deal with Australia, and a lot of it seems to be based around food products. So we live in a country that has quite a lot of rain, some sunshine, quite a few mountains and rural areas, and like you can grow sheep and stuff, can't you? It's easy.
Yes.
So we've done a deal with a country 9,000 miles away.
Practically on fire.
Yeah. In the time when we're all going to be told about climate change and that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be, I guess, in aeroplanes or boats, shipping over
both.
bits of meat.
Both.
Yeah. Now,
But are we trading sheep with them? I don't even know what we're trading, or anything we can get our hands on. Anything that will go on a boat. Is that what you?
No. My point is, we can breed sheep. We can.
Yeah, we can
I
grow
don't think
sheep.
I know I said that. I did do that on purpose because I thought it was mildly amusing.
Was mildly.
But it doesn't make sense to me because, like, to send something by Royal Mail, it's like £7.60 if it's tracked and signed for. To send a lamb from Australia, so that the lamb has to be bred.
What, tracked and signed for? I don't know how much that would be. It's going to be a few quid, isn't it?
It's going to... Well, they have the numbers written on them, don't they? So they could have a code.
You're on fire tonight.
Mic drop. I've been thinking how to get far into it. No, I'll just leave it there. But it's fucking stupid, isn't it? To be buying meat from Australia and sending them whiskey. They can make their own whiskey. We can make our own lambs. Like, just get on with it. And the one part of the deal is that skilled workers under 35 are now going to have more access to be able to stay in Australia longer to work. Well, that's a great deal for the UK. We can't get anyone to pick our fruit and veg here because we've pissed Europe off. So the few people that want to work on farms will send to Australia. It's It's madness. It doesn't make sense to be buying meat from 9,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Yeah. Mind you don't trip when you get off your soapbox. Mind
Or
you get down.
Oh, tip for the day.
Right.
Wax melts. It's not a statement.
It's literally a fact, just a black fact.
Yeah.
When you add heat.
Yeah, no, you know wax melts that you get?
Yeah, vaguely.
I won some in Bolton, as you know, I've told you.
Yeah.
I've just put them in the car, not set fire to them or anything.
Right.
And the car smells absolutely lovely all day long.
Okay.
Just that's a real top tip.
That should last ages, right?
Yeah, but they're not going anywhere. It's not like your fucking magic tree.
No, that's what I mean. If
it disappears.
Well, technically, something's evaporating coming off it, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I'm not going to say
the
wax is going to disappear. It's all the fragrance in it, isn't it? But in theory, it should take quite a while.
Yeah, next to nothing.
I was thinking about earlier, we haven't done any top tips for a while. But
that's a great top tip.
Thank you.
But don't. It's hard to hang from your mirror.
I don't even know what Max is. It like is it a candle?
It looks like a Milky Bar.
Oh right.
It's like a bar, like a chocolate bar.
Right. What do you do? It set fire to it.
You melt it over in like a little wax
like a little
melter.
dish.
Yeah, in a dish with a thingy underneath.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm with you.
But you don't need to set fire to it. Just shove it in your car.
Okay, great. I came into training this morning, and you were talking about humours, not sense of, which you're so clearly full of tonight. You were talking about what I'm about to talk about, which is ancient humours. I guess.
I was sort of double guessing when I was saying it. I didn't know factually if I was correct.
So humorism, the humoral theory, or humoralism, was a system of medicine detailing a supposed makeup of workings of the human body adapted by ancient Greek and Roman physicians and philosophers. Humorism began to fall out of favour in the 1850s with the advent of germ theory, which was able to show that many diseases previously thought to be humoral were in fact caused by pathogens. Also very topical. There are 4 humours.
Okay.
Do you know about the humours?
Well, I spoke today as if I did. I haven't got a clue. Name one of them and I'll name the other 3.
Really? You reckon?
Yeah.
Blood.
Bile?
Yes. What colour?
White bile.
No. You got blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Would you like to know more? Yeah, there's blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. The people who have red blood are friendly. They joke and laugh around about their bodies, and for their appearance, they are rose-tinted, slightly red, and have pretty skin. Which is you, pretty much, isn't it?
Rose-tinted like my glasses.
Yeah. The people who have yellow bile are bitter, short-tempered, daring. They appear greenish and have yellow skin. I feel that might be me. Do I look yellowy? The people who are composed of black bile are lazy, fearful, and sickly. They have black hair and black eyes. And those who have phlegm are low-spirited, forgetful, and have white hair.
Makes more sense than the whole COVID stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah. So blood. The blood was believed to be produced exclusively by the liver. It was associated with a sanguine nature, enthusiastic, active, and social. Yellow bile was associated with choleric nature, ambitious, divisive, aggressive, and short-tempered. Black bile, like this one. Black bile was associated with melancholy nature. The word melancholy itself deriving from the Greek for black bile.
Wow.
We've been talking about melancholy for ages. Not even looked
I thought
into
melancholy came from mal, the French for ill. Melancholy.
No.
No.
Depression was attributed to the excess or unnatural black bile secreted by the spleen. Cancer was also attributed to an excess of black bile concentrated in a specific area. And phlegm was associated with a phlegmatic nature, thought to be associated with reserved behaviour. The phlegm of humorism is far from the same thing as phlegm as it is defined today.
Is that a PHLEGM phlegm?
Yes, it is. So there we are.
Yeah. So I was sort of... they exist.
Well, you were talking about kind of, you were talking about chemicals in your body and actually kind of feeling like you are aware of those chemicals.
As I said, I was feeling
body.
purple this morning, didn't I?
You did, yeah. Talking about a colour.
Maybe that's going towards black bile.
Yeah. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
We talked about the World Economic Forum and Davos and the Great Reset. We talked about it a few pods ago. We're talking about what we're going to put in this section today. And you're talking about TikTok.
Yeah.
So I've started TikTok up again. And I thought we could probably do it at some point. I did feel like we probably had enough meat on that.
I think what's happened is we've had a slight shift and it might just be in terms of our humour. It might be... So what I think was happening was when we went into a bit of a meltdown, it was like, oh God, the world's how the world is and what can we do about it. And it was like a bit despair. And now, like I said to you this morning, I still believe nearly everything. And I'm not
written.
How can I say this? I'm so pissed off with conspiracy theories being used as an insult. I just have a different grasp of reality to the mainstream media and a lot of other people. What I'm saying is I think my attitude now is less doom and gloom. It's almost like an inquisitive nature as, blimey, if this is happening how I think it's happening, it's fascinating. And watching it is almost like watching a sort of a reality show in front of your eyes, because I'll have a thought and then it appears.
Who's that guy you follow on Twitter who said, suddenly turned around and said, I'll accept all your apologies or something?
Oh yeah, Zuby Music, great guy. Yeah,
he's been making loads of claims. Everyone thought it was a bit of a nut bar, right? He's kind of going, yeah, I think you'll find what I'm saying is all coming true.
Yes.
Then I was talking about David Icke when I was doing my RDLs this morning.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, I don't know, 30 odd years ago when he started coming out talking about, how we're all being played and large corporates and conspiracies. And I do remember the lizards and the royal family being lizards and stuff like that. I'm probably getting him all wrong. He got laughed out of town, didn't he?
Yeah.
And now he's just done a kind of a video, which I watched about 5 minutes of it. And he started saying, I've been saying all these things. He listed all the things and they had it all coming up in the background, all the things he said. He's not a million miles off.
No.
Arguably. He didn't get onto the lizards in the royal family, but we've got holograms, haven't we? Yeah. But,
You always laugh when you say it.
What? Yeah, I do.
I seriously believe in everything I say.
Well, I don't think people are reptiles or holograms, but...
No. Although, I'd like to know... Well, not I'd like to know. I don't know why we don't know what Prince Philip died of.
No. Or with. You not find out? Have you not...
I've looked. Doesn't say.
Oh, right.
The only one, just to put in very, very quickly, because we're not going to talk about what I've just diverted us onto, but the guy Zuby has, and it's relevant to say he is a black British musician and quite outspoken. He comes across, when you read him, everyone thinks he's American, but he comes across, I don't know, he gets some disparaging remarks from black people who feel he isn't representing black people.
Okay.
And he will go, something will happen and he'll go, he tends to take a perspective that you're either going to agree with or not. So one of the things he was saying about, he's anti-vaccine, and he was saying, I trust my immune system and I don't want to have it. I don't trust it. But whatever you want to do, that's fine. And of course, he's then got a tirade of abuse about, you need to protect us. And he's gone, if you believe the vaccine works, and if you're
need
told,
to protect you,
look after yourself.
That's what you want to do,
because you could then say, well, you don't protect yourself because you smoke and you drink and you're obese,
well,
so don't tell me.
Yeah, he's not coming out with outlandish claims, or he's just going, this is my, based on my personal view, this is what I want to do.
He does weight, he works out, he's a fit guy, and he's going, I think I'm all right. I think I've got all bases covered. My health is my responsibility. And then people go, well, you're going to go out and spread all this. Anyway, so all the only one point I wanted to make, when I was going to do a post and I decided against it, and I was going to use his start of, I'll accept all your apologies. And I was going to say, Instagram told us we were wrong about masks. YouTube told us we were wrong about vaccine certificates. People have doubted a whole number of things that I've said in a whole range of things that have come true. Yeah. And the only point I wanted to say before we just talk about what we're going to is the whole thing about fact checkers. And Channel 4 have got a fact checking system, and they checked something Matt Hancock said. Right. And he said, and it's interesting when you see the video of it, he said, blah, 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 this is true. It's hard to believe, but this is true. What he basically said is at the beginning of the crisis, there was no list of old people's homes, care homes.
Right.
And he went, I went to look for it, and there isn't one. And then this short video went, this was online on, the 1st of March. Right. And if you go to the Care and Quality Commission, or I think it's called that, CQC, they've got a list. And if you go to the National Care Home Association, they have a list. Right. And he said, I looked for it because I wanted to contact and work with every care home, but there wasn't a list. And I'm thinking, that's a day's work, to find, or it's an hour's work for some intern to do it.
Yeah, he's got people to do that for him.
And so Channel 4 have then looked in and said, he made this statement on this date and this was available on this date. Right. And I thought that was interesting in terms that the fact checkers have tended to be anyone who has got an alternative to the mainstream view, because the person, Mariana Spring, the BBC's, she isn't a fact checker, but she's anti-conspiracy theorist reporter, just is constantly, look at these anti-vaxxers, look at the anti-lockdown. She's got her agenda, and it's to knock everybody else that doesn't follow that agenda. So I thought it was interesting that Channel 4 would come in and said, categorically, he has lied to us about the care homes, which is a big deal with 40,000 people dying there. But there is that bit about who checks the fact checkers. So.
Who's monitoring the monitors.
Yeah.
We've kind of talked about this at training, about the fact as we move forward, we'll be owning less and less things personally and collectively as a society, I guess. Ida Outkin, a Danish MP and contributor to the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council, suggests that in future people will use her living room for meetings while she goes out to work. This idea that no one will own houses, no one will basically need to pay for goods or services because you're likely to be, or if you don't pay for them, you'll be sharing them. If you don't own them, well, you're not likely to own them, but you'll be renting them.
I think the e-scooters that we've talked about before are a prime example. It's basically it's a community resource, and that you pay as you go.
Yeah, that kind of.
You don't need to pay £500 for one. You don't have to maintain it. You just pay your £5 for the day, and away you go.
And off you go. So she writes that once in a while I will choose to cook for myself. It is easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered at my door within minutes. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed into your cupboards when we can just order them when we need them? It is a bold prediction given that we're widely accused of hoarding stuff right now. Countless magazine articles and self-help books advise people against the dangers of suffocation, and environmental agencies warn against our rampant consumerism. Self-storage units were virtually unheard of 30 years ago, but now the industry is worth about 440 million. According to the Self-Storage Association UK, and that's just the major players. Yet there is some evidence that the tide is beginning to turn. In fact, official figures suggest our obsession with buying stuff has peaked. Data from the Office of National Statistics shows that the amount of stuff we buy, as measured by weight, fell from 15.1 tonnes per person in 2001 to 10.3 tonnes per person in 2013. But if we aren't buying items, how will we use them? So the sharing economy, which I haven't not heard that phrase before. We kind of talked about right at the beginning of the pod, as it's become known, has been growing for several years, especially within London and other large cities. The ONS reports that the sector is worth £500 million in 2014, but estimates now say it will be worth as much as £9 billion by 2025, which isn't very far away. PricewaterhouseCoopers goes on further, predicting growth of more than 30% a year between 2015 and 2025. It says that the industry could be generating £18 billion in revenues for the platforms by then and facilitating around £140 billion worth of transactions in the UK.
So when you
alone.
say the sharing economy, is this literally people sharing goods, services?
So in the UK, there are websites that allow users to share property, storage space, cars, designer clothes, handbags, power tools, and more. And new startups are springing up almost every week. Research from Lloyds Bank has revealed that a third of people now use sharing economy services of some sort, and 1 in 10 UK adults offers shared services. Holiday lets are the most common by far. So you think about just holiday homes, just think about people who buy to lets. We were talking about that this morning, weren't we? This article goes on to say, interesting, one phenomenon that's already being noticed is that those people who are still buying big ticket items are increasingly spending more on a top end model in order that they can rent it out more easily and make a return on their purchase. So anyone who is buying is only renting that so someone else can share it and have it temporarily. But when you think about it, I just made a little list of the things that we've already got, because this is not a case of, 2025 or 2030 isn't very far away. But we've had some of these things for years. Like there's a city car club, and there's one in Bristol. There's probably stuff in every city where you can just put your phone next to the car, it unlocks, and then you go, pay as you go, that kind of thing. iTunes and Spotify, probably the more obvious ones. Remember, wasn't it years ago, Sting got his arse in a twist when it came out that...
Tantric sex.
It's a move within there, when he found out that all the stuff he downloaded from iTunes he didn't actually own. He was only renting. I still find
that slightly
but
missold.
It's naughty, but what you're not really owning anything. It's that thin air, isn't it? MP3. It doesn't really exist, does it? House rentals are so clothing is a massive market. There's a whole, in the article, there's a whole...
I've seen that a lot on design. The thing that made me... I saw an organisation doing designer wear and said this dress would normally be, £1,000 and out of most people's reach, but you can hire it for 150. And I'm still thinking, there's two ways of looking at this. One is 150 is a lot for a dress. But if it's £1,000 dress, then you might go, well, it's a luxury investment.
And you probably only like to wear that.
That's it. You'd have to wear it 7 times at £150.
Yeah, people buy wedding dresses and never, only wear them once. They never even kind of, drag them out for a special occasion. Someone else's wedding. Always a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess clothes rental is far from
that should be a thing, shouldn't it?
What?
That we just agree as a society that you wear your wedding dress at any wedding you're invited to.
To get the use out of it.
Get the use out of it, so it's not just stuck in the loft.
Yeah.
Secondly, it encourages sensible eating and exercise, so you can still fit in it.
Still fit, right.
And thirdly, it shows you made a bit of an effort.
Yeah, and also you can't tell who the actual bride is. But apart from that, it's a cracking idea, Mark.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't stand at the front. It wouldn't be the groom would have a choice.
Yeah. Just pick one. So clothing isn't rental, tuxes, that kind of thing, isn't new. But when you get into I'm going to go and just rent an outfit tonight, like maybe a casual one, or I want a leather jacket for a week away, that's going to become a lot more accessible. You can shop online and it delivered and that kind of thing. So all the convenience is delivered. And I think I was going to say about gyms, but that's also about convenience. Subscription models. We were talking about this morning as well, weren't we? Yeah. Pretty much based around convenience and a value perception, often skewed.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the gym, you could. Okay, I understand that you need weights to build or a room to build a gym, but there's plenty of things around the house you can lift. You don't need weights to do exercise. But you could go and find a couple of sandbags in the garage or paint tins and do. You know what I mean? Or buy some dumbbells. It doesn't take up much room, and because some people will go to the gym and just use dumbbells. Yeah. Or go and run. Well, running's free. So it's that kind of idea.
It's like James Smith. He says, I just keep laughing at people who drive to the gym to go on a treadmill.
Yeah.
That is ludicrous.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But I understand that having a gym membership is a step, is the first step to kind of...
But is it 10% active membership? That's what it's built on. So it's the only time the car parks are ever full is the first week of January.
Yeah.
It's a bit like banks. If everybody went into the gym who's a member, you wouldn't get in the same way that if everyone withdrew their money, there wouldn't be enough money, would there?
Yeah. So it's the idea that we've been doing it for a long time, and we're kind of doing it even more. Digital is making it easier. Yeah. But if you think about where it's going, and it's almost kind of, what is the point of having anything? And the idea that you're renting space to put all the stuff in that you don't want in your...
Don't want enough, enough to have near you.
Yeah. It's like irony beyond irony, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like your best cutlery. You could be renting that out, couldn't you?
That's a great shout.
The interesting thing as you're talking is the subscription service, especially when some of the subscriptions are like bags of crisps and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's almost down to a level that I think back in the good old days, our parents would have gone, you're sending out for someone on a bike to go to a garage to cycle to you and bring you some fizzy pop and some crisps. I think the whole notion of that. But I was thinking it wasn't long ago when if you were getting delivery, it would sort of be, it's going to come this week sometime. Take a couple of days off work and we might not even make it if we're busy.
Yeah, right.
And now it's like, I'm not going to get this today. I'm not going to get my Haribo today. Do you know what I mean? It's our expectation now of delivery is same day.
Yeah,
it isn't even, it's got to the point on Prime when I'm looking and
at 11 o'clock at night, go, what can I have by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Yeah. And it becomes like...
Don't tell me you gamify that as well. Buy 2 items. It's like pin sticks. See which gets there first.
That would be a thing, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got, originally when I heard about it, I thought that just sounds ludicrous. But when you look around, you think, actually, most of the things I have are subscription-based. I own devices, but the things that are coming down the devices, I'm paying subscriptions for. Yeah. Most of the tools at work that we use every day are on subscription models.
Yeah. And also when you think about it, a lot of people's jobs are so flexible now that they're almost subscriptions. Yeah. So a client of mine is taking a bit of time off from her job to do dog walking, which I think is a really, really cool idea to do 6 months and just do something you really love. But in a way, that's a subscription, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You're subscribing to her time. Yeah. The dog in a way is a bit on rent to you because a lot of the time it's being, cared for by somebody else because it's hard to be looking after a dog 24/7. So
I suppose it's not just a benefit for people who are in digital economies as such, or making the tools and the services. It's obviously good. It's good for brands, and I'm sure like most of these things, because I was reading about self-driving cars. I haven't quite gotten to this because I'm working on, I think the other day we talked about how driving is just being taken away from it. The enjoyment
Yeah.
of driving, or the sensation of driving and the experience of driving, the fun of driving, has been slowly eroded away and made too comfortable. You know, you're being constantly being desensitized, but they're also marketing and wrapping up that desensitization and selling it back to you. Marketeers and brands are slowly in the car industry. They're kind of packaging up comfort and convenience and distancing you further away from the driving experience. They're kind of selling it back to you, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I've been looking into that, and also started looking into Tesla self-driving car options. They're going to make their money on the subscription services.
Yeah.
You know, I bought a car, whereas in the olden days, in the last few years, I want to upgrade my alloys, or I want a slightly different leather, or I want a better stereo. All that stuff is pretty much stock. You probably can do that. But most of the upgrades and the options are all software based.
Yeah.
So if I want a self-driving function, I have to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
If I subscribe to that, I don't actually own it. So it's not like I'm buying the option of a self-driving car and then I'm able to sell that on to another owner.
Yeah.
After I finished with it.
Yeah.
It disappears. And then that person gets the car and then they have to sign up to a subscription.
Yeah.
They, although they've got a depreciating asset, they've got a standard passive income.
Yeah.
Based on this software feature.
And
so again, software as a service but in cars and almost in every area of life, there's going to be something where there is a subscription.
I saw that the other day for you can have a tracker for your cat that goes around its neck.
Yeah.
But that was a subscription service.
Yeah.
And I just thought it would look on my phone, I can see what my cat's doing. But no, it's sort of via an organisation who provide the service.
Maybe ages ago we talked about Halo. Was that Amazon's little wristband? Was that Halo?
Yeah, that's gone very quiet, hasn't it? It never seemed to become a thing.
Yeah. Again, that was you bought it, but then you subscribed to it, all the features.
Yeah.
So and the thing I was going to say was this isn't only available for people who design and develop digital services, but almost any brand who has a customer can now set up some kind of product or service that ultimately can be a subscription model.
Just about not owning stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing, just
Yeah,
shifting a little bit, is I've mentioned to you on a number of times BlackRock, and I'm actually started putting something together on BlackRock, an asset management company who are beyond massive. And I was mentioning to you, I think in training a week or two ago, that they tend to be buying up residential properties above market price.
Yeah.
And then turning them into rental opportunities, but like literally coming in with money. And one of the things that I read about it, and this was so interesting, someone said, why would you come in and offer 50% above market price?
Yeah.
And the other person said is because then you drive up the market price. And someone said, why would you want to do that? And they said, well, firstly, because your asset then starts growing. Because if a neighbourhood, if the average price is $500,000 and you offer 3/4, then everything shifts up. And if you've bought everything on that, a certain price, it then, and they're going into a neighbourhood and buying up. So the early things they buy up. Then, but secondly, it becomes priced out of the market and you have to rent. If you want to live in that neighbourhood. So you've taken away the free choice and then the rentals can be whatever you want. And I was even thinking this, my dad's house, it's a nice little house. It's 3-bed. It isn't anything special. It's got a small bathroom, a small kitchen. It's got a nice garden, 1 very large bedroom, 2 okay bedrooms. There'll be people listening to this from other parts of the world who might not have the same situation in terms of property prices. That's going to go on the market at £650,000. So £250,000 for a very relatively small house, but because of its area. The estate agents today said, we're going to have an open house. We're going to get like 20 people on one day coming in to look at it. Now, I'm sort of going, well, in that case, it's 700,000. So we've actually put in the price offers in excess of, because the demand, I think, is actually going to drive the price up, but it doesn't reflect the value. It reflects, well, the value is whatever someone will pay for it. Of course,
that's right.
And if that then goes for 700,000 and everybody else in that road has seen that exponential rise, then it goes up and up and up. And so soon, nobody will be able to afford to live there. And so you will only have a choice of renting. If you want a 3-bedroom house anywhere near this area, you're going to have to move out and rent. And it's, I think the rental market's almost, everyone used to go, oh, it's dead money. But I think people now, it's just a convenience. It's as you say, it's a subscription service renting a property.
Yeah. So now, for the first time in 6 years, for the first time in more than 6 years, renting is cheaper than buying a house. For the past 5 years, on a monthly basis, buying a home has been cheaper than renting. In March 2020, a buyer with a 10% deposit would have been £102 per month better off buying than renting, but the pandemic has reversed this trend. In May, it was £71 per month, 7% cheaper for the first time buyer with a 10% deposit to rent a home in the UK than it was to buy.
Is that because market values have risen so quickly?
Yeah. But exactly what you were kind of just saying about the house. It's kind of been driven up. There's a frenzy, but people who aren't in that position just driven to rent.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Cortisol. You know about cortisol, don't you?
What I'm hoping is that you're going to give factual credibility to my slightly vague scientific.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Oh, what were we talking about it? What were we talking about? Can you remember?
Fat retention.
Oh, that's right. So what is cortisol? I'll put all these links up, but think of cortisol as nature's built-in alarm system. It's your body's main stress hormone. It works with certain parts of your brain to control your mood, motivation and fear. Your adrenal glands, the triangle-shaped organs at the top of your kidneys, make cortisol. Cortisol plays an important role in a number of things that your body does. For example, it manages how your body uses carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. It keeps inflammation down. It regulates your blood pressure, increases your blood sugar, glucose, controls your sleep-wake cycle, which I have something on in a minute, and boosts energy so you can handle stress and restores balance afterwards. Quite a lot. How does it work? Your hypothalamus and pituitary gland, both located in your brain, can sense if your blood contains the right levels of cortisol. If the level is too low, your brain adjusts the amount of hormones it makes. Your adrenal glands pick up on these signals, and then they fine-tune the amount of cortisol they release. Cortisol receptors, which are in most cells in your body, receive and use the hormone in different ways. Your needs will differ from day to day. For instance, when your body is on high alert, cortisol can alter or shut down functions that get in the way. These might include your digestive or reproductive systems, your immune system, and even your growth processes. Sometimes your cortisol levels can get out of whack.
I can remember someone saying to me is that the expression butterflies in your stomach, and we've done the brain-gut axis, was the butterflies in your stomach, say, before you go on stage, was cortisol shutting down, because if you're in a stressful situation, the last thing you need to do is digest food. You need to have blood going to your extremities so you can fight or run. And they were saying that's where that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? It's like,
it just diverts it.
To where it's not important to break down that Domino's.
No one can ever break down that Domino's. It's impossible. In terms of stress, after the pressure or danger has passed, your cortisol level should calm down. Your heart, blood pressure, and other body systems will get back to normal. But what if you're under constant stress and the alarm button stays on? It can derail your body's most important functions. It can also lead to a number of health problems, including anxiety and depression, headaches, heart disease, memory and concentration problems, problems with digestion, trouble sleeping, and weight gain, which is what just kicked this off in the first place. Too much cortisol, a nodule in your adrenal gland or a tumour in the brain's pituitary gland can trigger your body to make too much cortisol. This can cause a condition called Cushing syndrome. Have we talked about that? We haven't, have we? No. It can also lead to rapid weight gain, skin that bruises easily, muscle weaknesses, diabetes, and many other health problems. Too little. If your body doesn't make enough of this hormone, you have a condition doctors call Addison's disease. Usually the symptoms appear over time, and they include changes in your skin, like darkening on scars and in skin folds, being tired all the time, muscle weakness that grows worse, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite and weight, and low blood pressure. If your body isn't making enough cortisol, your doctor may prescribe dexamethasone, hydrocortisone, and prednisone tablets.
Look at my third search there.
Dexamethasone.
Yeah, which is what you've just said.
Yeah, it was.
Do you know that it's been found to have massive positive effects for hospitalised patients with COVID-19?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
like ivermectin? Or is that a different thing?
Yes, like ivermectin.
Oh, okay.
That was in... Oh, I'm not going to go into ivermectin again. No. But dexamethasone, the research was done quite a few months ago and was shown, and it was peer-reviewed and journaled, that it had a very good effect on hospitalised patients' recovery.
Okay.
And, of course, it's disappeared now because it's a really cheap drug. The drug was £3.50 a day.
Oh, right.
It's disappeared now. I've never heard it mentioned. Yeah, 16th of June 2020, dexamethasone is a steroid that's been used since the 60s to reduce inflammation. the World Health Organization welcomes the preliminary results, and then it's all gone quiet, like vitamin D.
I just want to do a really quick thing on cortisol and sleep. Cortisol is a major but not the only hormone that functions within the system and that has direct effects on sleep. The sleep facilitating hormone melatonin is another. Together, melatonin and cortisol work with the HPA axis. Oh God, I don't know what that is. The HPA axis is short for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, just so you know. Together, melatonin and cortisol work within the HPA axis to regulate sleep and wakefulness. When it comes under prolonged or chronic stress, this network can become constantly activated, the hypothalamus and pituitary gland constantly signaling the adrenal system to produce more cortisol. It is cortisol's role as part of this axis that's attracted a lot of attention from sleep scientists in recent years. That's because chronic stress is such a widespread problem with such deep effects on sleep. It's also because cortisol and the HPA axis it operates within interact with sleep in several different and important ways.
That's why when I was a little bit pejorative earlier, when you were going, oh, I've had a terrible night's sleep because of the heat, my sort of rude, cynical nature was going to go, I guess in the Caribbean, no one ever gets to sleep then.
Well,
they're used to it. No, it's your body can cope with 16 degrees and a slightly humid atmosphere. But it could well have been your cortisol that was causing you not to sleep, but that gets directed to trying to find something. Oh, it was a bit muggy and I didn't sleep. I had a client today who said, I didn't get good sleep and because there was going to be a thunderstorm. And it's like, well, there wasn't a thunderstorm. Yeah. It wasn't baking hot. It wasn't in the 20s. You probably set your thermostat for about the same temperature as was.
Yeah, maybe.
And you could just nap in the day. And I think it almost becomes something like cortisol doesn't get the press it should because it is so vital, like we've said with the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
But we look for something easy. It's like, oh, I ate late. That was something else someone said to me today. I couldn't sleep because I ate late. Now, that might be a reason, but it might be that the stress of not eating until 11 o'clock at night and the hormones that your body produced.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it is, especially with sleep. I think people look for something that they can just put their finger on a lot easier.
Yeah, and I guess if you've just got general stress in your body.
If it's hyped up for fight or flight, then it probably isn't going to go to sleep because your body's being told, don't go to sleep because the bear will catch you.
Yeah. Research shows that the heightened HPA axis activity is linked to more restless, fragmented sleep, less slow wave sleep, and lower overall sleep amounts. This strongly suggests a role for cortisol as a sleep disruptor. High cortisol is associated with obesity, as well as depression, anxiety, and other stress-related mood disorders. These are conditions that often contribute to and occur alongside insomnia and sleep apnea. To kind of regulate levels of that. Research shows light to moderate exercise doesn't create a short-term spike in cortisol like intense exercise can. Yoga and Tai Chi, two fantastic and gentle mind-body exercises for sleep, have been shown in scientific studies to lower cortisol. Deep breathing exercises, which we've done with the mindfulness stuff, developing mindful awareness about our own stress and its triggers helps to relieve the stress and reduce cortisol. Research shows that mindfulness-based stress reduction lowers cortisol in the body. Changing patterns of negative thinking can also reduce cortisol. That's really hard to do, isn't it? To change from a negative outlook to a positive one. But studies show that when we address these thinking patterns and employ positive thinking in their place, cortisol levels go down. Positive outlook is also linked to better sleep. Mindfulness is a powerful contributor to healthy sleep.
Amelia was saying that she just puts on calm and just falls asleep, but it doesn't have to be the mindfulness, it can be the sleep stories. When you're reading stuff out like that, what goes through my head, and I'm no different to anybody else, I'm probably worse in a lot of ways, is that the answers are already there and we know them. And what we do, this is a sweeping generalization, but what a number of us do is continually undermine what we know. And then we're surprised at the results. And I saw something the other day that said, it was done in the form of a text where someone was texting their self and they said, why when you wake up is the first thing you do look at your phone? The first thing I would like you to do is go and have a shower or go and stand in the sun. And you think, it's the start of the day. I should be getting something that's wholesome, that hits my vagus nerve in a good way, that is life affirming. And instead I go on to Twitter and read more bull.
Because you naturally, I think your body naturally produces cortisol to interrupt sleep, to actually wake you up.
Yes.
And I think then if you start looking at your phone.
Yes, exactly. You're putting a layer on something.
Yeah, unnaturally keeps, I think, the cortisol levels kind of going, when you
Yes.
don't kind of
Yeah,
need
you're
it.
feeding it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do it very quickly. Cortisol and coffee.
Mhm.
They say, coffee isn't the best thing actually to have as soon as you get up.
No, I've heard that. Yeah, you wait a bit.
Because your body is kind of doing that, naturally doing the awakening
Yes.
up anyway.
Yeah.
So leave it a little bit longer than when you've just,
Yeah.
until you've opened your eyes a bit. Caffeine increases the level of cortisol in the body. So when you consume a cup of coffee within the first hour or two of waking, you are not likely to be getting caffeine's full benefits because your body is already at its peak cortisol level.
Yeah.
Trying to get you going, get you up in the morning. It is also thought that early morning caffeine might interfere with your normal morning cortisol production and your stress adrenal glands if you consume too much. So your body's just doing loads of cool stuff anyway to get you going and get you out, get your ass out of bed and get you moving. So yeah, when you think, coffee's waking me up in the
that's what everyone says, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your body's waking you up.
So maybe get
That's
to
what
work and then have one. But there you go. I have to wrap it up, Mark. Unless there's anything you got to add on that?
Not on cortisol, no.
That's it for. Oh no, it's not. Have we got mailbag?
No, I just got a couple of things that crossed my mind. Is that the way things can be said? Did I do this one to you? It was somebody had paid their partner a compliment and said, I think I did this one with you. In this light, you look beautiful. And she went, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if he'd said, you look beautiful in this light, it's the same words, but the order changes.
Yeah.
One becomes almost like sort of a compliment and then taking it away.
Yeah.
But they are saying the same thing. And I just thought how, because of the difficulties I have with language, the same thing can be said very, very subtly different and have a massive different effect. That just got me thinking.
Okay.
That whether we're hearing things incorrectly from the way they're meant.
It's a real tiny difference in its structure.
Yeah.
It's huge in its meaning, isn't it?
Yeah. And why that came about is I've struggled with some words and I'm not struggling with stuff because I'm doing okay. But I'm struggling with then.
Then.
Yep. Text conversation, I've got to go now. Okay then. The emphasis of the then to me is like it's a big putting your foot down. It's almost going, okay then. There's no need for the then except for an emphasis, right? Okay, then that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, so if you kind of,
because it doesn't mean anything.
But it's almost a reflex though. People are saying it without, they don't even know why they're saying it.
No.
Which is kind of your
point. But it's what I hear, and this is the point I'm saying. It isn't that the word is wrong in the same way that okay isn't wrong. If I hear something in a certain way and I interpret it, if someone says to me, okay then, it's like straight away I feel like I've been shouted at.
I guess when you start to really think about it, because you say it and you put your own tone on it, that's why emails and texts can be so dangerous. Because you can put all sorts of inflections on it that makes it sound passive aggressive.
Yeah, and if you're looking for it to be said and you have this voice in your head and I hear the voice in my head saying, okay then you're going.
I mean, okay is bad anyway. Okay then it's just double.
But I just think
right?
I wonder how many, if we were taught almost like a text etiquette.
Yeah, I must admit now, ever since we started talking about the text, not just to you, but mainly to you, I will make more of an effort. I will go to, because it's habit just to go, okay. Or sometimes I will just want to go like PFT, PFT, kind of joking disgust. But then I can kind of go, well, if you're in the wrong place, then that's not going to be helpful. Yeah. So I do try and go, spend an extra 10 seconds and write some other words.
Yeah.
But that I think is important.
Yeah. And I recognise I'm still not good at it. I'm trying, but I'm still not good at it consistently.
You did one this morning when I said I was going to be late.
Yes, I really thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I said something like, it's never a problem.
Oh, yeah. Or what's new?
Yeah. Lazy
no,
fucker.
Yeah, you said never a problem.
I really thought about that, and I thought, I don't want to do no worries because you might not have been worrying.
Yeah.
That's the assumption, isn't it?
Worried sick I was. Yeah.
You were just informing me. If I go no worries, it's like, well, now I'm putting a layer on. And I thought, never a problem is, that's true. It's never a problem if you're 5 minutes late.
Okay, then, just has totally different.
Okay, then. Yeah, to be expected. But I'm wondering whether, I know I'm open about it and it affects me maybe more than some other people, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's other people are sort of being, I don't mean hurt, it isn't a big hurt, but are being affected by language and not recognising it. Whereas if we all just shifted some of the words or lost some of the words we use, whether it would make a difference.
That's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far, and thanks for listening to us. Give us a follow on Instagram at I'mFinecast and send your feedback and ideas to I'mFinecast@gmail.com. In the next episode,
looking into BlackRock.
Yes. Is this kind of some proper investigative journalism? Like a panorama style?
Well, here's a bit of clickbait. And I know it's 30 seconds because you're thinking, I've got to edit this fucker and get it out to you by 1 a.m.
It's not going to come out tonight, is it? Tomorrow's not going to be out tomorrow.
If you can't do it, you can't do it.
Okay then.
No, here's the thing. BlackRock, I think, is in the top 3 shareholders of Pepsi and of Coke. Mm-hmm. And this is what's got me investigating, because Pepsi and Coke aren't rivals. If you're owned by the same people, all that those people are interested in is increased sales.
Yeah.
And one last little bit, the whole Cristiano Ronaldo thing.
Yeah.
It's like, even Russell Brand was saying, it's wiped billions off Coke.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
That's what they're saying. They reckon it's $4 billion.
Yes. No.
$4 billion. He's been all over, especially in the Middle East, all over KFC ads, eating chicken, all sorts of things. And he's advertised Coke before.
Right, because
it's clearly not one of
did
his.
It with the Heineken, didn't he?
Yeah,
it's like,
alcohol zero. Yeah, it was a zero alcohol. Yeah.
No, the point I was making is that it doesn't matter if they've wiped $4 billion, because if you're going to go, right, I'm not going to drink Coke,
I'm going to buy the other one.
I'm going to buy the other one. So it doesn't matter.
It's wonderful for them, isn't it?
It'll raise both of them. It'll raise both of them because people are talking about it.
Unless he's still got a deal with Coke, in which case he's made the headlines, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And I just didn't know why the Coke had been there. They don't seem to be one of the official sponsors listed, but maybe it's just product placement, very clever product placement. But yeah, that was the point while I was looking into BlackRock, is if you own, it's basically, it's monopoly, not a cartel. And that's important, I think.
Okay, cool. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.